Friends, welcome to the weekly live stream. So good to see you. Hope you've had a good week since the last time that we crossed paths. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Still very busy, feeling slightly under the weather. So if you could do me a solid and just let's have a good conversation in the chat tonight. I went to the park this morning. I rope dropped at 7 a.m. Well, rope dropped the Toy Story parking lot at 7 a.m. Rope dropped Disneyland at 8 a.m. Went there and filmed some videos and had a pretty full day. Still have more work to go. So do me a solid. Be a good bud. Hang out with me. Ask me some questions and let's have a good time. Let me say hi to everybody over in the chat. Rich is there. Shoshona. Joe. Shoshona the sound man, by the way. Always giving me that audio check right out of the gate, which I appreciate. We got a system. Jesse Adventure. By the way, Jesse, Beth was like, hey, did you know that they made a Buffalo football-themed Hallmark Christmas movie? And I said, yes. Yes, I did. Because a long time ago, Jesse sent me a screenshot of the cover and said, looks like Hallmark finally made a Christmas movie that you're going to care about. So I appreciated that. Pandora, rope dropping is the best, man. Especially for what I do, like the filming, to get the park that empty, it's perfect. David, I'm doing all right. Feeling a little overwhelmed, feeling slightly under the weather. So hoping my homies can help me keep the streak alive of this season 2 of posting 100 days in a row. When did I start? Let's do the math real quick. That'd be a fun little side quest. Let's go over to YouTube. Let me go to my control panel here. YouTube Studio. Content. Videos. Let me see. When did I start this second season of going 100 days between the two channels and not missing anything? Okay, let me see. Real quick, I'll be back with you guys. Just got a different window up right now. Actually, I'll just put this over here so I can keep an eye on the chat while I'm doing this. All right, so which one of these videos was the first one of the second season? Let me see here. There it goes. August 10th is when I started the second 100 days. So let's do the math. August 10th, September 10th, October 10th, November 10th. So I'm close. So September, October, so that's 60 days. Then add on 11. So I'm at like 71 days in a row. So that means I'm probably like a month away from hitting 100. That's wild. That is wild. To do back-to-back 100-day seasons, that is wild. My co-host, Kat, is, I don't know where he's at right now, but I did have a conference call today with all the folks that I'm working with over at DesignerCon, and Kat decided to sit right here and stare in the camera the whole time. So it was literally like he was in the meeting with us, which was pretty funny. I did see that Sip and Sonder closed, and I'm not really surprised because I've been through there many mornings and they weren't going by their hours, and it wasn't really attracting an audience. So not surprised that it went away. And, you know, I'm a coffee guy. If for whatever reason it didn't seduce me and bring me in, I feel like it's going to be a hard time for everybody. Yeah, Ken Pace, last week I did the live streams just to stay. I've just been so busy lately. So busy. Yes, Angela, a busy cat with so many things to do. That's a great way of putting it. Parkside Market is lackluster. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think downtown Disney. What's up, Scott? How you doing? Going to Disneyland in 2 weeks. Super excited. I'm excited for you, bud. I hope you have a good time. If you see me, say hi. I agree with you, Shoshana. I think that the whole Parkside Market, it's missing something. And I was talking about this today with a friend at the park that a lot of the things that Disney has done lately, both in Epcot and downtown Disney and some different projects they've done, if that was built at your local shopping center, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like it. But there's something about some of these projects inside the Disney bubble that just fall short of their own expectations. And I'm waiting for them to finish downtown Disney, but the Parkside area, basically once you get past the Lego store, I don't know, man. It's just not hitting what my expectations were. And I'm not just, trying to be negative for the sake of being negative. I love to rant and rave when I'm passionately involved in something or love something, but I don't know, man. It all just doesn't feel magical or Disney, or I don't know. There's just something about it where I don't want to dwell there. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's just something about it that just feels a little cheap or like it's a miss. So we'll see, because they're still working on Earl of Sandwich and then the British themed restaurant that's going on the second floor. But I don't know, man. It just feels like they're kind of just making it all up as they go along, and I just haven't really been sold on it. So we'll see what happens. But also too, the lawn that they put there is cool, but I hate that they put the fake hills in it. And I know kids love running up them, but I don't know. It messes up the clean sight lines, and it just kind of makes it, I don't know. Sometimes it all just looks kind of cluttered and junky over there. And the stage being, the stage faces the lawn, but the stage has its back to you when you walk through. And I know the last stage would kind of slow down traffic at the end of the night, but I don't know. I don't like where the stage is placed. It just feels like the performers, I wouldn't like to perform on a stage if there was just a constant sea of people walking behind me. I'd feel like I was on the Today Show. But we'll wait and see when it gets done. Yeah, Jeffrey Gonzalez, we have our first closure in new downtown Disney. Angela points out, it's what happens when you put retail in charge instead of Imagineering. It lacks the Disney magic. 100%. I mean, look at Madame Leota's Bed Bath & Beyond just outside of the Haunted Mansion. That's not an Imagineering project. And I mean, look at that eyesore. Joe Sardone, thank you for the super chat. You can bulldoze a land and start over. Not Tomorrowland, because we already know. If I can bulldoze a land and start over, which one would I do? I mean, I'll tell you the ones that are problematic. Here are the lands. I'll go through the parks and tell you everything that I feel like could use a major refresh. Obviously, there's Tomorrowland. And then when we go around the rest of Disneyland, let's see. They just did Toontown. It's good. Fantasyland, don't ever touch it. Frontierland is just feeling pretty uneventful these days. There's nothing really bringing you in there. I think I would be interested in taking out half of Frontierland. I'd be interested in removing the shooting gallery, removing the pen store, and removing Rancho de la Zoco, and take that whole northern side of Frontierland and reimagine it, bring back a good Mexican restaurant in there, and something that honors the spirit of the West, and also kind of the West has a cool Mexican heritage as well. So I would like to acknowledge that, but there needs to be an attraction in there. And the problem with Frontierland, because I kind of consider Rivers of America its own thing, Frontierland is just kind of missing something because, yeah, it has Big Thunder Mountain, but Big Thunder Mountain kind of exists in its own spot. So I think that if we imagine taking the northern side of Frontierland, reimagining that and putting some sort of attraction in there, and maybe think about it as a 2-floor type of thing where we still have retail and we still have dining, but there's a facade that you enter on the ground level, and maybe that facade goes above or under those other establishments. I just feel like Frontierland really needs something. Then as we move over to Adventureland is fine. It's pretty locked in. The Jungle Cruise pretty much eats up all the real estate. New Orleans Square is perfect. Bayou Country is what it is. It'll be a hallway to something else at some point. Tom Sawyer Island could definitely use a major refresh, but I think Tom Sawyer Island and also the space where Cascade Peak is, I think they're just kind of holding on to that as another, like, let's not do anything rash because we want to have a space to do something different in 2055. Like, they need to hold on to some of these spaces. And then Galaxy's Edge, I absolutely love it. Moving across the Esplanade over to DCA, Buena Vista Street that just recently did, it's good. Grizzly Flats is great. I wouldn't be opposed to doing something different with Grizzly River Run. It's a huge plot of land. I say keep the water there, but I wish that it did more storytelling and had something more involved with it. Little Mermaid's fine. Need that park. It's crazy that park only has 2 typical Disneyland dark rides, and soon it will only have 1. The backside of the Paradise Bay or Paradise Gardens, whatever they call it, where Broadway Pizza is, you could take out Broadway Pizza all the way over to Goofy Sky School, Flight School, as far as I'm concerned. All of that needs something, but that's also kind of a placeholder to massage potentially some sort of bridge that would take you diagonal across Disneyland Drive over to whatever they would do in the parking lot there. So that's one that they're not going to jump on because they kind of need to figure out what's going on around that. Pixar Pier, I have no problems with. Radiator Springs is absolutely perfect. Top tier land. Avengers Campus, they're working on making it better. And then obviously the Hollywood backlot. It's horrendous and it needs a lot of work. It'll just be interesting to see where's the cutoff point. Do they go from the old elephant pedestals all the way over to Tower of Terror, aka Mission Breakout? Or do they leave Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard and leave those old Hollywood facades and animation and all of that? Do they take out Hyperion? Like they could get really ambitious or they could be really modest. Really ambitious is you take everything from the elephant pedestals over to Guardians, which is a massive footprint. And you could really do something very innovative and progressive. But the most conservative is that you literally only do something on the north side of the monorail tracks, which means Studio 17, the backstage building there, and Toy Story, as well as whatever space that you absorb, not Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and whatever space you absorb from the bus drop-off. So there is my quick round robin on what needs to be bulldozed and started over again. Commander Colson, thank you for the super chat. Heart that shit. Do you think Disneyland Forward will have generational rides? Well, yeah. I mean, I think where Disney's at right now is they realize that space is running out. So they really need to think about things that can play generationally and things that'll have some staying power, which, makes me want them to kind of like slow down. We don't want to maximize every square inch with today's properties. You have to leave room to grow into the future. And a big thing that I always say about Tomorrowland is that there's really no rush. Even though Tomorrowland to us is just pathetic and a bum out, there's really no major rush to get rid of Tomorrowland because what do you replace it with? And I say this all the time. What major intellectual property is not being covered right now at the park? You have Star Wars area, you have a Marvel area, you have plenty of Pixar, you have plenty of traditional Disney. Like, what isn't being featured right now that needs to be featured that can go 30, 40 years and be relevant. And I know people will pull stuff out from their childhood. What Beauty and the Beast, Lion King. Yeah, I get it. Those are great. But do those really need to be there? Like, is that really something that needs to be put in the park till at least 2060? Because that's the timeline that we're looking at. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of cool that Paris is going to have an exclusive Lion King attraction. It's a great incentive to go to Paris. I think every park should have one or two exclusive e-tickets. I think one of the biggest mistakes that Bob Iger made was when he decided to clone Galaxy's Edge, because the original idea is that each Galaxy's Edge, one at Disneyland, one at Hollywood Studios, and one in Paris, each one would be a different spaceport. So as you traveled around to the different Galaxy's Edges, you'd get to go to all the different spaceports. Would literally make it feel like you had traveled through the galaxy. And Star Wars fans would have loved that. And there would be cool things like, oh, do you have the pin collection, the gold pin collection, where they only sold for the year 2025, the gold pin collection. The only way you could get it is to go to all three spaceports. There would be cool incentives for guests to do that. But short-sightedly, he's like, oh, this is really expensive. Let's just clone it. But that's such a short-sighted idea, because maybe Florida's would have been better than ours, or maybe ours would have been better than Florida. And you create that motivation and synergy for people to go to different parks and consume them differently. So when they clone things, they're really just saying, we don't need people to travel to come here. Oh, Joe, I go all around the park and you say I only get to pick one, Hollywoodland. Joe says, with another super chat here, bulldoze Galaxy's Edge. I love it too, but we don't need to. They are not bulldozing Galaxy's Edge. You are high, brother. You are absolutely high. They are not doing that. Joe, James Brown. This is ridiculous. James Brown, the highlight of my park visit this week was running into you. Thanks for chatting me up. Next time, let's rip the Mark Twain together. Oh, brother, if I wasn't so busy that day, I would have loved to have rode the Mark Twain with you. So yesterday, I'm walking through the park, and I went to the park yesterday morning from 8 till 12. And my goal was to rip 3 quick vlogs. Well, I only got 2 vlogs done because I got sucked into a client call. So I was sitting at a table with the Matterhorn behind me and the monorail over me on my phone like this in a Zoom call going over a big client presentation that I have to give tomorrow, which is why I got my hair did and why I'm not wearing a hat, because I don't want to mess up my blowout. This is the same hair I will have tomorrow. So I was cruising through Tomorrowland and I see a dude who's wearing a beautiful 1955 undefeated champs Def Leppard hat. And I just go over to him like, dude, good looking hat. And it happened to be none other than James Brown. And James, you know how I tried to film you with my new Meta 2 glasses for the members only video that I was working on? Turns out that from the conference call to the time that I saw you, the glasses turned the volume all the way down. So when I kept hitting the button, I have all of these shots of me like trying to film you and I keep hitting it. So I have like mega shots of me and you talking and me just doing this and not thinking it's working, but I was really turning the camera on, turning it off, turning it on and turning it off. And so when we parted ways, I opened up my phone and I went into the app to be like, how do I reboot this camera? And then I saw, you can't do this to the camera while it's filming. I'm like, oh my God, how long have I been filming for? So James saw me when I was trying some new tech. I got a pair of the Ray-Ban Meta AI. I got a pair of the name sucks. They're the Ray-Ban. I'm so tired. They're the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 AI glasses. That is just a bunch of information that sounds like trash. And I got them because I have an idea on how to do a couple of fun things with them. But one of the things is a great way to shoot members only content, because all I have to do is just hit my glasses and they can literally see behind the scenes. So I shot a members only video yesterday. Some really, really interesting footage, and I'll be getting that out for members real soon. All right, there we go. Did it. James, thank you so much for the generous super chat. That's really nice. Above and beyond. And maybe I'll send you, maybe I'll Dropbox you gigs of video footage of us hanging out. Check this out. See that? That's a Disney Starbucks cup. This is still my Starbucks rip from earlier today when I was in there filming. Rebecca Lunn, ran into you Friday in Fantasyland. Highlight of my day. I met so many people Friday morning in Fantasyland. It was just like one rad family after another just ripping through there. I met so many awesome people. So it was great to meet you, Rebecca. I met a lot of people that Friday morning. It was really, really fun. Jesse, I'll give you a full review of those glasses after I've had them for a while, but I bought them because I see some really interesting content that I feel like they're uniquely equipped for. Joe, hey Brickey, no rogue wedding advice this live stream. So I just want to tell you, Joe, I actually thought about your wedding proposal. Not that you asked me to marry you, but where you could get married. And I have to tell you, today I walked over to Big Thunder Mountain and looked at the spot that I told you to get married, and I think it would absolutely work. But I also, now that I thought about it, I think you could also do a rogue wedding over on the like the Napa Rose Vine Trail. That's not Napa Rose. I am really tired. There's the trail behind what used to be the Blue Sky Cellar, and now it's, I don't know, a DVC thing. And there's the beautiful, grapevines and stuff over there for winemaking. And there's an archway, beautiful archway with all the vines around it. That's like the exit for that building. I don't think they use that building at night. And I think if you did it under the cloak of fireworks, you could put your officiant in that little archway. You and the bride could line up. Your two witnesses could stand there. And if you had a fast 2-minute, 3-minute ceremony, I guarantee you could get away with it there or over where I said at Big Thunder Mountain. So today when I was at the park, I was literally still thinking about this conversation we all had last week and trying to do my homework on like, where could you do a rogue wedding? So there you go. What's the matter, Brian? What? Please no one get engaged at Disneyland, go on a honeymoon, but damn, no. Are you crazy? It is fun seeing people get engaged at Disneyland. Seeing people propose in front of the castle and stuff. That's one of the greatest moments of hanging out around the castle is seeing a proposal. I love when I see people getting proposed there. The magic is contagious. I actually filmed the dude's proposal. He's like, hey man, do you mind taking a photo of me and my girl? And then he put his arm around her and he lifted up the ring and showed me that he had the ring. And I go, oh, how about, let me use my camera. My camera's better. And so then I gave him like a thumbs up and I filmed him with my camera proposing, got his email address and sent him the video of them proposing. You got engaged at the Blue Bayou. That's crazy. Yeah, there's I would dare to say that there's probably a proposal or so a day in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. One of my favorite proposals I saw was, do you guys remember when they did the Merriest Nights, where they did a after hours event? There was like a Christmas event. I think they only did like 6 of them, and I bought a ticket to all 6 because I'm a Christmas fanatic. And I saw a proposal happen on Main Street, and it was Christmas time, and the snow was coming down, and the dude dropped on his knee, and I filmed it, and never figured out who the couple was to get them the footage, but I filmed the proposal, and she was standing so weird, and I showed it to Beth, and Beth goes, "Oh, she's so like frozen in the moment. She doesn't even realize how weird her legs look." Cause she was like literally like taking one step and she just like froze and her legs are all pretzeled around. And then another time I was at the top of the Four Seasons in Golden Oak out at Walt Disney World. And so I had my pro camera filming the fireworks and I had it on like a little tripod thing. And I looked over and I go, this guy's got nervous energy. And I go, yeah, this guy's getting ready to propose. So I took my second camera out and I just started filming the stranger. And when he went down on his knee, I like filmed the whole thing cinematically because they were just like right there in front of me. I filmed the whole thing. So I watched her say yes. She put the ring, he put the ring on her. She got like super excited, face full of tears. I watched them call back home to their family. We got engaged, we got engaged. And then I walked over and go, excuse me, I saw that you were going to propose and I filmed the entire thing. Let me send it over to you right now through Bluetooth. And then I'll show you that I deleted it so you don't think that I'm a weirdo. And she was like, what? You filmed our proposal? I'm like, oh yeah. And so I showed it to him. And then she started crying again. She's like, oh my God. And she was like, did you hire him? He's like, I had no idea that he was standing there. So I gave them their proposal and then deleted it off my device. I'm like, I don't have footage of you guys or whatever. I just did it because I believe in love. And yeah, they were so pumped. And the way that I did it was I stood back and I got him going down. I like knew to push in on her face and get the reaction. And then when she said yes, I cranked the camera back. And when I pulled the camera back, you could actually see the fireworks going off behind them. And then when I went out to Magic Kingdom for my birthday last December, I saw this couple and she had on like a wedding gown and he had on a suit and they had just got married and they were wanting to take their a wedding photo on the around the Grand Floridian. And they had like, you know, their daughter or their niece or somebody taking a photo of them. And I just cruised up and I go, looks like you guys just got married. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, I'm a professional photographer. Would you like for me to take your photo? And they're like, oh yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. No, I know what it was. He had just proposed to her and they were wanting to take a post-engagement photo. So I said, yeah, I'll take a photo of you. But I'm like, you got to follow me. So I said, you got to carry her dress because her dress was long. You carry her shoes because she couldn't walk in the grass in her shoes. And I got them right over on the edge of the water. And the fireworks are going off and we're standing on the side of the Seven Seas Lagoon. And I said, it's going to be real bright, but the grand finale is getting ready to happen. So I need both of you, like, close your eyes. And when I say 3, 2, 1, 0, open your eyes. And so I was timing the grand finale. I did the 3, 2, 1, 0. They opened their eyes. I let their eyes set. The grand finale took off, and I like ripped like 30 photos, like, brrr, and dude, the photos of them just opening up their eyes wide and not being squinty at all. They looked amazing, and I shot it in a way where you could see the sky full of fireworks, but I also had the camera angled so you could see the fireworks reflected on the Seven Seas Lagoon behind them, and then I had Cinderella over her shoulder, so just nailed it in. These are the moments that I love. I love taking photos of strangers at the park. It's one of my favorite things to do. All right. Fowler Garage. What up, bud? Angela says, I can only hope that if ever something special happens to me at Disneyland, that one Mr. Brickey will be there to document the moment. I love too that like so many times when I do this for people, they have no idea that I like do YouTube or any of this stuff. I'm just like, I wonder if they ever randomly like turn on YouTube and like, oh, wait a minute. Isn't that the guy that took our engagement video? Joe Sardone says, fun map of Piston Peak, percentage wise. How close do you think we're talking about that will actually get built? I don't know. I feel like the fun map they put out quickly to bring down the temperature, and it did bring down the temperature. So I think that fun map is probably a bit more accurate than what people would think. Percentage wise, I'd probably say that it's in the 70 to 80%, but definitely higher than 50%. That'd be my guess. Yes, Ricky making his own Disney magic. Trust me, Rich, I know all too well how it is like, nobody's named Brickey. You want to say Ricky. One of my friend's favorite moments at the park was right when I just first started getting recognized in the park for doing YouTube. I had just taken my first big trip out to Walt Disney World, and I was, putting up videos out there. So a lot of people that watch YouTube knew that I was out there. And I just got back home, and me and my friends went and did a night at Disneyland. And as we were walking into Frontierland, this woman goes, "Welcome back home, Rick." And I go, "Thank you." And they're like, "What?" And I go, "Yeah, a lot of people think that my name is Ricky. And so people will just come up to me and call me Rick." And my friends died laughing. She was just like, "Welcome home, Rick." Oh, Scott, I was hoping nobody would ask me this. I'm just going to say that I love soaring over California. I like soaring over the world. I don't want to get into it, but I'm just not excited about America turning 250 next year. I'm not really excited about us soaring over America. I'm not really excited about America. So I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to bum everybody out, but I'm also not a liar. So it's cool. I hope people enjoy it, but I don't really care right now. I'm having a hard time being excited about those types of things. James Brown, start wearing those PhotoPass blue shirts. Like, basically, they're like, how do we make people understand that these are PhotoPass people? Oh, I know. We'll dress them like the Seattle Seahawks, because they basically wear all the Seattle Seahawks colors. Pinball. I hope I didn't offend you, Brickey, but my Ghost Galaxy comment wasn't spam. Oh, I didn't see. Right. Ask me again. I didn't see. I was busy talking. I wasn't looking at the chat. Oh, dude. Angela. There's no doubt about it. Soaring over California is the best version of that ride. Shoshona, there are several uniforms in the park that drive me nuts. Yeah, there's some wild ones. Beth has always said that if she were to work at the park, she would want to work Indiana Jones, because she thinks that the female cast members at Indiana Jones are the best dressed cast members at the park. And I don't think that she's wrong. But I do like with some of the new lands, like Batuu, for example, and I think they do this with Pandora too, out at Animal Kingdom. I like that they basically made like kits, and cast members have an array of different pants and different shirts and different hats and coats. And so it gives the cast members the availability to kind of like go through an array of products and custom tailor their own look. So they all match each other, and everybody in Batuu looks like they belong in Batuu, but they all have their own unique flair. I like that one a lot. PDX Rides. Thank you for the super chat. Just booked tickets for the first night of holidays at Disneyland. So excited about the tree lighting. Psyched up by your great holiday videos. Best holiday treat. Well, the best holiday treat is either the peppermint beignets or the candy cane. No. Peppermint beignets is a must get. And then they do the peppermint ice cream at I'm out of it, guys. They do the candy cane. Hold on. It's the candy cane ice. No, it's the peppermint ice cream at Gibson Girl. And they used to do a candy cane dipped cone. So you could literally have your candy cane dipped cone and your peppermint ice cream, and you could sit on Main Street and look at the Christmas tree and pretend like you were eating it. And they got rid of the cone. Sorry about that. I'm out of gas, man. Gibson Girl. Nice. John says, love your work. We were married at the Grand California Hotel. On the patio, they are now making a concierge area. That patio was sick, John. That's a great wedding spot. Our photographer was artistic like you, and the picture had a special flair. So thankful. That's cool, man. That's cool. Not getting into it, Brian. I mean, I wouldn't do anything to improve. The American Adventure, that attraction is like really, really cool. I just not going to bait me into that. Jesse says, I would love to be a janitor in Galaxy's Edge. I really like the design of the sinks in the restroom. I'm buds with one of the janitors in Galaxy's Edge. I typically see him every time I'm in there, and we always stop and talk shop, and he's such a nice guy. Pinball 5541. Do you think Ghost Galaxy might come back if Halloween returns to Disneyland during DCA construction, like Monsters After Dark? I don't think it will. I think for whatever reason, they've just decided to give up on Ghost Galaxy. I think the only hope you might have for Ghost Galaxy is if they decide to do something wild, like a 20-year reunion. I could see that. But I also don't think that they're going to move Halloween over to Disneyland. I think they're going to keep it, even if DCA has a lot of construction going on. I think Oogie Boogie and Halloween is there to stay. And I'll tell you why. Because for 3 nights a week, over the span of now 10 weeks, so it's 30 nights, they are able to really solidly book out DCA. Now, they have no hard times at all selling tickets to Disneyland. Disneyland's always pegged. But this gives them the availability to basically create 30 more calendar days, because there's people that buy a regular ticket on those days or use their keys. So it gives them an additional 30 days. It puts a lot of extra people in the softer of the two parks. I would be shocked if they would move it back to Disneyland, because then they're really just putting the death knell in DCA. That would be my opinion on that. Brian, I agree with you. I love DCA. It is a really cool, like, it feels like the locals park. It feels like Disneyland is for everybody. It feels like DCA is kind of for us. Broken, all broken. They do a holiday overlay for Space Mountain at Magic Kingdom, where it's all red and green lights, and they play like crazy Christmas music in there. What's up, OLT? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you in the chat. It is going to be interesting, though, to see all this construction and how it rolls out, and what order they do things in. And I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm fascinated to see how it all comes together. One thing that's going to be interesting to see too is like just the timeline on things, how it all comes together and how much they share. And so I don't know. It's going to be some wild times. Angela says, in a world we're talking about the U.S. is so fraught, have you decided how many suitcases you're taking with you to Europe to make sure that you can take full advantage of the German Christmas markets? So I'm only taking a suitcase. And it's a carry-on suitcase. And I'm going to try to limit myself to only one souvenir the whole time I'm there. Now, our friends that planted the seeds in our mind of going on a Christmas cruise through Europe was like, we got over there and they bought a whole suitcase just for souvenirs. I'm not really a collectible guy, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I'm taking a very small suitcase and just rolling with my uniform. 2 pair of black pants, 2 black sweatshirts, probably 2 short sleeve button ups, 1 long sleeve button ups, 5 t-shirts, 5 boxers, 5 pair of socks, do laundry on the boat. It's probably all I'll take. Pair of waterproof shoes, pair of regular shoes. All fits in my little orange suitcase. And then tech-wise, MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, DJI Osmo 3, Sony ZV-1, Ray-Ban Meta glasses, 2 iPhones, 4 batteries, 4 chargers, 2 SD cards, 2 portable hard drives, bedside phone, Apple Watch, and AirPod charger, and then 2 plug-in chargers, and then also converters. So I pretty much have it all in my head. And my jacket is my jacket has like an outer shell that's waterproof, and then it has the inner like puffer that's just for comfort. Dude, Angela, I will be vlogging the whole Europe trip. I'll be putting up a video every day of what we get into. I'm so excited to see those Christmas markets. I'm excited to see Tivoli Gardens. I'm excited to see the Matterhorn. Excited to go back to Disneyland Paris for another time. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know Beth's looking forward to it too. Right now, Beth is at home in New York with her family, dealing with a family member that's going through some major stuff right now. So she just keeps telling herself like, this is all serious family stuff, and it can be a little bit of a bum out at times, but they're keeping up good spirits. But she just keeps telling herself, yeah, we're a month away from Europe and it's going to be awesome. So looking forward to it. Stu, you have more camera equipment than clothes. Yeah, I do. Clothes don't make me money, baby. James says, I got to say, I was surprised at how many rides went down during my 2 days. Space, Indiana Jones, Rise, Mickey's Runaway Railway, Toy Story, and Credit Coaster all had significant downtime. Yeah, rides go down a lot these days. A lot. Like sometimes I'll just be walking through the park filming. I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff that's down right now. Yeah, John, and a nuclear reactor to power all that. Sir, you can't take your nuclear reactor on the plane. Watch me. No, I'm not going to tell you what day I'm leaving, but you'll be able to figure it out once I do leave. Thank you, Kara. I appreciate that. Or Carrie. Let me know. Is it Kara or Carrie? A or B? A is Kara, B is Carrie. He needs an arc reactor like Iron Man. 6 Miles Tall says, I'll be at Shanghai Disney end of November, carrying all the same tech stuff. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Carrie. Okay, thank you. Thanks for all the warm shout outs to Beth. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Oh, yeah. We've already bought the adapters. Already put air tags in all of our suitcases. I mean, Beth has everything done. She's bought all the clothes that she needs. She designed a whole capsule where it's like everything matches. It's all in the same color palette. She bought a new suitcase. Like, Beth has everything done in case she has to stay in Buffalo a little bit longer. So she is ready to go. I have just started looking online. I'm like, probably could use a new pair of waterproof Jordans. Yeah, I travel light in the parks. I don't wear a backpack in the parks anymore. It's too hot. It also gives you man boobs. So no. Is my camera? My camera bag's in here. Hold on real tight. I'll show you guys my camera bag. Just grab it out of my. So I take a big bag. I take a big bag into, my car that everything lives in. But I carry my camera in my hand the whole time. And then in my back pocket, I carry this small little bag. And in this small little bag, everything perfectly fits. So we have on this side, on this side we have, let me see here, 3 batteries. See, 1 battery here, 3 batteries. This little pouch, I keep my audio cable and wipes to clean my camera. And then on this side, this is my rear lens cap and front lens cap. I have a extra battery for my grip. I have an extra SD card. And then over here, this is a little thing that I put in the hot shoe of my camera if I'm putting my audio straight on it. But sometimes the audio, if I'm running my teleprompter on my camera, then the audio has to go in using this auxiliary cable. And some videos, if it's a video for the main channel, I do write full scripts so that I can deliver the information as efficiently as possible and make sure that it's as accurate as possible. And then if I'm doing a vlog that's about like a current event, then I just do a simple outline. And the outline just kind of helps me formulate my ideas, the way that I wanted to deliver the information, and the way that I think like each idea builds into the next one. And then that looks like this. So this is the camera that I shoot everything on. So this is a magnetic ND filter. When that comes off, that's how the camera needs to look when it goes indoors. But when I shoot out in the park, this goes on the front. This comes, oops. It's hard to do this one-handed like this. Come on, you do this all the time. What's the matter with you? So you can see how the lens is flat. It's like sunglasses for your camera. That's how the sky is always really blue in all my footage. And so see how that's rounded? See how that has like a sphere to it? And then when you put this on, it's it's flat. And then this has 5 stops on it. So real dark, and each stop gets a little bit lighter. And then this right here is where my second iPhone goes. It sits in here. I'll do it with my main iPhone right now. So my phone sits in there like that. And so I can have my notes up there like that I can look into. And then take that off because I got some personal messages on the front of my phone related to a project that I've signed an NDA on. And then this little green one right here, this is where my audio bad boy goes, and that plugs in the side of the phone. And then there's this lens right here that I can look at myself in. And then this little bitty handle, this allows me to record. I never use these other buttons. And when you see me walk into the camera, then I just have used it like a little tripod. So yeah, this and this is my full park setup. No backpack, no shoulder sling, no man tits, no extra heat. And I think the videos look pretty professional and pretty good with a minimal amount of stuff. So that's my rig. Tyler Drake, thank you so much. Thank you for the in-depth research history videos. Enjoy the cheese and bread in Europe. If you have time, visit. I will not be going to Eifling. I'll have to say that for another trip, but I am going to Tivoli Gardens. The orange phone it's just all right. I mean, I don't hate the orange as much as I did. I still wish it was more orange and less like feels copper, but yeah, it's all right. It is what it is. The Sony that I have is the Sony. I always have to look at it because I'm dyslexic and I can never remember the name properly. It is the Sony ZV E1, and it is the smallest full frame camera that Sony makes. So since it's full frame, that's why the color on it is so good and why it's really, really good in low light. Later, JTKL. Good seeing you, buddy. Pandora, if you weren't filming, what would you choose to do at Rope Drop? So I went to the park this morning. If I wasn't filming, I would have probably went straight to Haunted Mansion because I do love Haunted Mansion Holiday. Yes, Rich, I've developed a very efficient setup. I used to take so much extra stuff like a lot of people do, and this setup is just so much better. I love it. But I have to remember to wear a belt. They won't even let this little tripod, just the little thing. And no, it's not mirrorless. It's a full frame camera. Right? That full frame is different than mirrorless. Let me check that real quick. Is full frame camera different than mirrorless? Yes, it's a full frame camera, not a mirrorless. What days do you usually go, you're my favorite Disney content creator, would like to meet you one day? It just all depends on my schedule. Like I was there Friday, and then I was there Monday, and I was there today, and then I'll be back either on Thursday or Friday, but I don't even know yet because like I need to work on my script for my next video. I have the rough outline completed. I don't need to do any research because it's a video that like I know by heart, but I do need to kind of organize it and figure out my shots and my locations and stuff. So getting all that done by Thursday morning at 6 a.m. sounds like a lot. So probably leaning towards Friday, but my schedule always kind of dictates when I go there. Does the camera have a gyro? I'm not sure what you're asking. What is your favorite number one thing to do what is your number one thing to do at which park? I know it's a difficult question. If you're asking what my favorite thing to do at the park is, I love watching people and I love taking photos of people. But if you're asking what I specifically like to do at the park, I love the vibe rides, Railroad, Mark Twain, anything that allows you to look into the park is my favorite. That's the problem with DCA. It only has one vibe ride now, which is the Mickey Fun Wheel, which is my favorite ride over there. Yeah, the part-time job has been a lot lately. But we're working on a big project, and whatever I can do to help the company out, I'm all down for that. No, it's not a GX7. Isn't that isn't GX7? That's what Adam used to use, right? That's a Canon, right? Canon makes the GX7. What has been your favorite fireworks show over the years? Disneyland Forever. I love Disneyland Forever. I think the ZV-1 does actually have IBIS and is both mirrorless and full frame. Wild. Didn't know that. Well, one thing I do know is it is small and it does really, really well in low light. Did I put the... Oh, yeah. I put the lens cap back on. Now, I love that camera, though. I bought it a couple of years ago, and there was a little bit of a learning curve. But in a world where a lot of people are using the Pocket 3 or iPhones, I just love that my videos have depth and more enriched color. And, you know, iPhones are cool, and DJI Pocket 3 is cool. They all have, like, really, really great stabilization, which I don't have very good stabilization. And they do a really good job of, like, clarity, but I love that when you watch my videos, there's like a depth of field and it just feels like there's more of a cinematic edge to them. And I always thought Disneyland and the Disney parks were designed like movie sets. Wouldn't it be cool if somebody filmed them like they were movie sets? So just ideology wise, I'm already looking at it from a different angle than a lot of my contemporaries where, you know, for them, it's just more like ripping the content, and that's totally cool. But for me, I just kind of have a more of a cinematic take on things, and I pride myself on being one of the last people to still use like a big camera or a real camera. Pumpkin spice. I've only had one pumpkin spice from Starbucks this season. I could go for a second one. The front-facing camera on the iPhone is just trash. And they say they upgraded it, but I don't really see the upgrade. Like, it looks really good. I think the upgrade is a cop-out. Because when you do the front-facing camera on the iPhone, it looks good on your phone, and then you import it into Premiere Pro, and it still looks like trash. So I don't know if they're doing something on the phone to make it look good, like, in their ecosystem. But when you take it into a professional editing ecosystem, it does not look that good. David and Gene, I have a GoPro. And I find the GoPro to be one of the most unreliable cameras. It just like what it does really, really well. Stabilization, capturing the world, pretty durable, but like the whole like ecosystem of its software and the button always working and it seems to have a mind of its own. I don't think it's a really reliable device. So for me, a GoPro is always like a cool thing. Like when I did that boat video where me and my friends were in the boat and everything went wrong, I mounted a GoPro on the front of the boat, and it was a really, really cool like additional shot to everything else I was showing you. But I used to just use a GoPro all the time. And, I started out on YouTube. I was doing a GoPro and then I did my iPhone. But at that moment in my YouTube career, I just wanted to learn how to make videos and I didn't want to have to worry about the camera. So I just wanted something that was just like hit a button and record. You don't have to think about it. And that was really good because I could just kind of focus on like storytelling and being a creative and the type of videos that I want to make. And then once I felt like I got that down, then I jumped over to like the pro camera. And so then there was a moment where I was good at storytelling and that stuff, but I wasn't really good at my camera. And I feel like in the last year, I've gotten even better at storytelling. And I feel like I've gotten really good at using this camera. And so even though it took a little moment to get to where I'm at, the progression to get there was awesome. Because if I would have been trying to figure out how YouTube works and how to do it and how to operate a camera, it's too many learning curves at once. So I like limited down all the points of failure to just one. The first point of failure was making bad videos. But once I got past that, then it was like trying to work on a bigger and better camera. And so if anybody's ever thinking about getting into it, I would suggest get the most basic bitch camera that you can and just focus on making the videos. Because at the end of the day, that's what's most important. Then if you can put icing on that cake and put a little cherry on top with better footage, better camera, make it more cinematic, there are people that will notice, but some people do not notice. They do not give a shit. They don't care. They're like, sometimes I get comments like, your videos look different than everybody else's. I'm like, is that a compliment or are you complaining? 6 miles tall. I use the DJI Action 3 for themed land POV walkthroughs. I mean, that's a perfect camera for that type of video. Like, this would be the worst camera you could ever do for a POV. So it also depends a lot on what you're doing. The DJI Action for what you're doing, perfect camera for the perfect job. I was interested to see Magic Journey went to a smaller camera because Miguel's always been somebody who has a real talent for cinematic quality and stuff. So I was, but Justin Scard, I think, is now on like a DJI or whatever. So a lot of people that used to have the bigger camera have gone down to the the more simplified cameras because the simplified cameras have just gotten so good and they're so small. They're so much lighter. Like that thing's heavy. It's really heavy on an 8-10 hour day. Or if I go out to Walt Disney World and I go from rope drop to the end of it, like it is heavy. And like sometimes I feel it in my arm. But yeah, I know it's just all personal preference things. What's up, Moto Man? PDX rides. I used a Pocket 3 for my walkthrough videos last month. Yeah, I mean, that Pocket 3 for a walkthrough video, that's the camera you want. If I was going to do a walkthrough video, I would 100% use the Bob Barker camera. And, fun fact, I take this with me to the park every time. It lives in my bag in the car. But if I were to have a complete camera failure, I want to make sure that I have a backup camera. So this bad boy is always on standby, waiting to go. So yeah, it's a good camera. It's my backup camera. Some things, it's the perfect camera for it. No, Wes, you've definitely got a great eye for cinematic video. I've been a professional photojournalist and video journalist for over 20 years and appreciate your shooting style. Thank you so much. I think the reason why it comes to me like that is I spent years being an illustrator, and illustration's all about composition. So I frame things a lot in composition first, and I think that matters a lot. But composition, as you know, in framing, it's like a skill set that like some people have and some people don't. And so we all have our strong points. All right, friends, this is where we're going to part ways. I appreciate y'all coming out and hanging out with me for an hour. Do yourself a favor if you haven't. I put up a video this past weekend over on the main channel, over on Hey Brickey, about the original theater that was in Fantasyland. And maybe you don't think that you care about that topic, but I would strongly suggest watching the video, because inside of, I think it's like 17 minutes, 18 minutes, I packed a lot of fun Disney history in there. And I guarantee if you watch that video, there are things in there that you will learn that you did not know about Disneyland. Like I went deep on the theater's history, and how they used it as a flex space in the 70s, and a lot of interesting events and things that came and went through Disneyland that you're maybe not aware of. And the ultimate fate of the theater made it to where they could do something really innovative and different inside of Fantasyland. So for whatever reason, a lot of people decided not to watch the video because maybe they didn't find it to be appealing. But I'll tell you this, you're guaranteed to walk away with more Disney knowledge if you watch that video. It is dense, and I worked really hard on it. So I'd appreciate anybody that checks it out if you haven't. That helped me out a lot. All right, friends, Jar Jar, I will feel better. I know I'm a little bit low energy tonight, but sometimes you just need to have a chill sesh with your buds. And that's what we did. We got it done. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, and I appreciate y'all showing up. And see you soon. Stu always with like, throw one last one in. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night.